to Feed Me in the Forest. As you can see, we are still under a blanket of snow here in eastern Pennsylvania. I am getting really tired of this. I just want some warm weather. Every year around this time, I usually get in kind of a funk because, I don't know, maybe it's just spring fever, cabin fever, whatever you want to call it, but I just crave feeling that warm sun on my face. So, since I'm in eastern Pennsylvania and that's not going to happen for probably a few months, I try to just give myself little tastes of it throughout the winter. So last week I grilled outside. I put together my little camping grill and I grilled some steak, and it was so good. It gave me a little taste of those memories of camping, cooking over the fire on those warm, sunny days and nights. And I'm really looking forward to a little break next week. I'm hopping on a plane and I'm heading out of here, heading south, just for a few days, but it will kind of give me a little break from this cold weather and hopefully give me a little boost until spring finally arrives. But first, some shelter dog cuteness and a little ditty called "Somebody Please Adopt Me" by one of my shelter friends. I hope you enjoyed my shelter, friends. Now here's how I plan my meals and save time with meal prep. The first thing I do to start planning my meals is to make a list of everything that I want to have that week. And that could be based on just whatever I feel like I might want to eat that week. It could be that I have some items left over from the previous week that I need to use up, or it could be based on what I can get on sale that week. So after I have my meal list made up, I go ahead and create a shopping list. I figure out everything I will need for each recipe and write it down on a slip of paper, and that goes to the store with me, and I stick with my list. That way I don't end up with a lot of stuff that I don't need. I just returned from the grocery store and I purchased everything that was on my list. The only thing I got that was not on my list was this beautiful artichoke, which I thought would go really nicely with my Greek platter and my meal plan for the week. There are a bunch of things that are included in my meal plan that I will need that are staple items, so I already have them, like oats, and the things I need to make my gluten-free pancake and my chicken nuggets. I already have that. So yeah, this will get me through the week. Hard to believe that all of this cost $85. The prices, as I'm sure you know, are ridiculous for food. But I'm looking forward to cooking all this stuff up. A few of the items I purchased are staple items, like my supplement here, vitamin D and K. I don't take a whole lot of supplements, but that is one that I do take, especially in the winter time when I'm not out in the sun. I got some coconut flour that'll last me a while, the milled flax seeds that'll last for a while, and my psyllium husks, which I'm going to use to make my gluten-free bread. And almond butter too, that's sort of a staple. Dark chocolate morsels. I like to throw those in my oatmeal once in a while. They're good, so that'll last me a while also. We're going to get this marinade for my steaks going here. So here I have 2 grass-fed sirloin steaks. My preference for steak is a ribeye. I really like ribeyes, the marbling and the fat content, but they're pretty expensive, so these were a more economical option for me, so I picked these up. And they are grass-fed. I usually try to buy grass-fed beef when I can. It's a little bit more expensive, but there are some health benefits to it. It is higher in omega-3 fatty acids. It's also leaner. The taste tends to be a little bit different. I want to say it's, I don't know, stronger flavor maybe than a green-fed beef. I do enjoy an occasional green-fed ribeye steak. I just like the flavor better. But for the health benefits, I think grass-fed is the way to go. So for my marinade, I am starting with some minced garlic. So that steak is it's less than a pound. It's about 3/4 of a pound. So I have 1 minced garlic clove in here. And to that, I am going to add about 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. Not 1/4, I'm going to do about 1/8 cup. I don't measure, I just kind of eyeball it. And that's balsamic vinegar. And then I'm going to add about the same amount of soy sauce. So about 1/8 cup of soy sauce. Looks about right. And my recipe called for brown sugar. I don't have any regular brown sugar, but I did have some coconut sugar. I didn't want to go out and buy a whole bag of brown sugar. I don't use it that often. So I'm just going to use my coconut sugar. It's brown, so I think that'll work fine. And I'm going to use about 2 teaspoons of my brown coconut sugar. And then I'm going to add about the same amount of olive oil. This is extra virgin, so about 1/8 of a cup of olive oil. And last but not least, I'm going to add about 1/2 of a teaspoon, well, that was a little bit more, but that's okay, of Dijon mustard. And we're just going to whisk that up so it's nice and combined. It smells good. And then I'm going to add my steaks. 1 and 2. So I can get at least 3 meals out of this steak. So one I'm just going to have as is with some vegetables. That'll probably be the smaller one. And the second one, I'll divide into 2 meals. I was going to put it on top of my fried rice stir fry meals, and that'll be 2 meals for me. So these cost, I think they're around $13 for both of these steaks, and I will get 3 meals out of them. So it's a little bit of a splurge for me, but you know, $13 divided by 3 meals, it's not terrible. So I'm going to let that marinate for maybe about a half an hour to an hour at room temperature. And then, even though it's 15 degrees outside, I think I'm going to fire up my little mini barbecue grill and cook these on the grill, because I'm really missing camping and grilling and cooking outside now. So I think I'm going to do that. All right, so see you in about an hour. All right, got my charcoal going. It's starting to get hot. Almost ready to put those steaks on. Okay, those coals are getting good and hot. I added some peppers and a couple mushrooms to my marinade. I'm going to get those on the grill. Get those nice and cozy underneath a little foil tent, and I'll let those cook away. All right, we'll be back to check. I think it's done. I can't wait to sink my teeth into this. It smells and looks so good. Pups think so too, right? Smell good? Here we go. That looks great. The steak got a little bit overdone. It's kind of well done. I prefer it medium, but oh well. I'm sure it'll still be good. Smells wonderful. I cooked up some Brussels sprouts and mixed it with those grilled peppers and mushrooms. All it needs is a little salt and pepper. And I have a nice glass of Cabernet here from a local winery. Goes really nicely with this meal. So I'm going to sit and enjoy. So this steak is so good. With each bite, I'm just closing my eyes and imagining that I'm at the campsite in the woods on a nice, warm summer day. I want to show you that little barbecue grill that I cooked my steak on. It comes in a flat package like this, so it's super easy to store. It doesn't take up a lot of room. And you just pull it out, and it's inside of a Ziploc bag to keep it clean and dry. So you just take everything out. Comes with some instructions. So these are the two side walls that the grill part fits into. They're slotted, as you can see. So you just put the slotted parts together. And they do slide around a little. And you do that on both sides. And then you put the other side in. Both sides. There you go. And on the bottom, it has some slots that just fit together. There we go. See, everything is together. There now, the slots are engaged. So there's your grill, and the top just fits on here. It has these little prongs that stick out, and the grill just slips over those so it doesn't move around. And then when you're ready, you just put your charcoal in, you light it, put your food on, and have yourself a nice little cookout. This is great if you're solo camping just for one person. You could even fit 2 burgers on there, so it's great for 1 or 2 people. And I love to use this. I've used this on my past few campouts when you don't feel like starting a whole campfire. I don't know, I just like starting my campfires late at night when it starts getting dark. If I want to cook earlier in the day, if I want to grill something, I'll just fire this up. It's a lot faster and easier than starting a whole campfire. But you just have to remember to bring your charcoal. And if you do end up forgetting the charcoal, no worries. You can also use wood. Sunday breakfast is a gluten-free protein pancake. 1 egg. Mashed, scrambled, whatever you want to call it. A big spoonful of ricotta cheese. Mix it in. the lumps out. About 1/3 of a mashed banana for moisture and a little sweetness. You can also use applesauce. About 2 heaping teaspoons of my homemade flour blend, which is a combination of almond flour, coconut flour, oat flour, psyllium husk, and vanilla whey, grass-fed whey powder. Mix it all up. And drop it in your frying pan. A little melted butter. You can use coconut oil, whatever you want to use to grease up that pan. It's usually kind of thick. Sometimes you have to spread it out a little bit. Toppings, I'm adding some chopped up banana, sorry about the pitter-pattering noise, the dog's walking around. This is real life here. Chopped banana, these are frozen blueberries, but I defrosted them first. Some chopped up pecans. You can use whatever toppings you want, and also you can use whatever flavorings you like in your pancakes. Sometimes I'll do pumpkin or sweet potato. Sometimes I'll do peanut butter. And then finally, just a little drizzle of maple syrup. Just a little. Looks so good. I have everything ready to go for my turkey meatballs. These are going to be Greek turkey meatballs for my Greek platter that I will have for lunch on Tuesday and Thursday. So I have here some Greek kalamata olives mixed with some feta cheese with oregano and basil, and I just kind of mashed it up with a fork a little bit. There's 1 beaten egg, some gluten-free breadcrumbs, and this is about 1/3 of a pound of ground turkey. I used the rest of the package for a different recipe a few weeks ago, and I just froze the rest of it. So I'm just going to mash all this up and mix it up really well. Sometimes your hands just work better. Faster too. Okay. That looks good. So that made 12 meatballs. And I have them on my little baking tray covered in a piece of parchment for easy cleanup. So I am going to bake these in the toaster oven, and all of the ingredients cost me about $3 to make 12 meatballs. It pays to do it yourself at home and cook. If you went to buy these in a supermarket, you'd probably be paying for a dozen meatballs, what, about $8 maybe? But cooking at home really does save you a lot of money. I'll stick those in my toaster oven, and we'll check on them in 20 or 30 minutes. Artichoke beautiful. So I have that steaming away in my steamer basket. One way I save time when I cook for the week, anything with a long cooking time, I put them all in at the same time. So the artichoke will take maybe 45 minutes to steam. My rice is over here steaming away. the pot. And then I have my meatballs cooking in the toaster oven. So instead of spending 3 separate hours cooking 3 different things, everything is being cooked at the same time in, less than 1 hour. So it just takes a lot of advanced planning. Make sure you have everything on your shopping list and everything ready to go before you start cooking. I've been doing it this way for years. It works really well with my lifestyle and my schedule. You just need to find what works best for you. So I'm getting those stir-fry veggies going in my frying pan. I like to start out with 1 slice of chopped up bacon. It gives it a really nice flavor. 1 slice is really all you need for the nice flavor. And then I'm going to add my chopped up veggies. So I have onions, mushrooms, peppers, and carrots. And I'll add the broccoli later because that doesn't need as much time to cook. I mixed in my rice. This is jasmine rice. It has a really nice flavor. When you go out to a Chinese restaurant and you get fried rice, it's a whole lot of rice with a sprinkle of veggies, usually, at least where I get it from. I like to make it the opposite way, with a whole lot of veggies and a sprinkle of rice to keep my carbs on the lower side. So here are the completed meals. I added some of that sliced steak that I grilled up outside in 15-degree weather yesterday. I added that to the top. I sprinkled on my black sesame seeds and cashews. And it smells really good. So this will be my lunch on Monday, tomorrow, and also Wednesday. So I only eat 2 meals a day. I eat breakfast on work days, usually around 6 in the morning, and then I'll have this meal or my lunch at 2. My Greek meatballs are done. I think I'm going to freeze these because I'm not going to eat them until later in the week. So I'll freeze them, and then on Tuesday, I think I have these down for Tuesday and Thursday for my lunches, for my Greek plate. So on Tuesday, I'll assemble my 2 plates, and when the time comes, I will show you how they came out. So meatballs, they look and smell good. Here's my artichoke. It is all cooked and tender. The way you can tell if it's done is you take one of these leaves and you just want to scrape this bottom part off with your teeth. If that's tender and comes off easily, it's done. So, yep, that's done. So now I'm going to stuff my artichoke. I have a mixture of Italian cheeses, oregano, and some gluten-free breadcrumbs. So I'm just going to sprinkle that all in between the leaves. Both halves. Just cut it in half so I have 2 servings. This will go on that Greek platter. I think it'll be fine in the fridge for a few days. I'm just going to add all my toppings, stuffings. I want to get between all the leaves, because when you eat this, you're going to just peel off the leaves and all that cheese will be all melted to the leaves, and you get a bite of that nice fleshy artichoke with the cheeses. It's really yummy. All right, so all my stuffing is in. I'm just going to drizzle with a little bit of olive oil on top. And then I'm going to stick that in the oven just until all the cheeses get nice and melty. So I'm going to make the hummus for my Greek plate, and also for a dip for my veggies for Friday to go with my chicken nuggets. This is my mini Cuisinart. This is about, I would say, 25, 30 years old, and it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. The switch really doesn't work, so to get it to work, you have to just kind of press down on the lid while it's on. It's kind of a pain. It's very finicky, but there it goes. I'm chopping up my garlic first. So So we're very frugal around here, and we don't buy new appliances or anything until we absolutely have to. So if I can still get this thing to work, I'm going to use it until it doesn't work any longer. So I'm adding a can of chickpeas. I added a nice glob of tahini, which is a paste made out of sesame seeds. I'm going to add, you can add whatever seasonings you like, but this one I'm going to add some of my Everything Bagel seasoning. I just love the flavors, the sesame. There. Add a bunch of that. Squeeze of lemon. And last but not least, just a little bit of water so it mixes up well. And then back on my lid and to finagle this thing into working again. That looks good. Simple too. My artichoke is out of the oven. Here's what it looks like. It's beautiful. I love that purple color and those middle leaves. It smells delicious. So I've just assembled my Greek platter lunches. I made two, one for today, and I will have the other one at work on Thursday. So I did it in two parts. I did the hot parts in one container. So I'll just pop that in the microwave to warm through, and then the cold portions in a separate container. So you can see I got those Greek meatballs that I made over the weekend. The stuffed mushrooms I just popped in the oven this morning, super quick and easy, and the artichoke. And the same for the other one. And then in the cold portion, I just have, there's my hummus in the middle. I love these little condiment cups. I just put the hummus in there. Some cut up veggies to dip in the hummus. You have some dolmas and a few bites of cheese. Same for the other. How fun is this meal? It's all mostly finger foods. So it's just so much fun to just pick up and pop them in your mouth. And it's a nice variety. Next up are my chicken nuggets. Now I wouldn't exactly call this a healthy meal, but I do keep some canned foods on hand just in case of emergencies. You never know. So I had like a case of this canned chicken. I usually don't buy it, but it is coming up on its best by date, so I wanted to use it up. And once a week or so, you know, I'll just do a meal that's, I'm not worried about, you know, how healthy it is. I eat healthy the rest of the week. So one kind of unhealthy meal a week, I don't think it's going to do much harm. But I'll have it with my veggies and hummus, so at least I'm having something healthy with it. So what I had in there before I added the chicken, that was one beaten egg with maybe 4 or 5 tablespoons of shredded Italian cheese blend. And then you can use whatever spices you like. I just added some garlic powder and pepper. The canned chicken is salty enough, so it doesn't need any extra salt. So I'm just mixing that up. Mash it up really good. And also when you have that one meal that you're really not, you don't have, you know, the healthiest meal in mind, it kind of prevents you from binging, I think, when you kind of indulge at least once a week. It's not a totally terrible thing. You can cook the these in an air fryer if you have one. And I know there's some health issues with air fryers. I was gifted one. I really don't use it that often, but I think I'm going to cook these in the oven. My nuggets all formed. I have them on top of a piece of parchment on my baking tray, and I'm just going to stick those in my toaster oven. Now, just thinking that I should have cooked these at the same time as my meatballs in the big oven, but that's okay. These only took less than 10 minutes to put together. So I'm gonna stick those in the oven, and then while they're baking, I'm just going to clean up. So I've been cooking for about 3 hours, and I pretty much have all of my meals finished for the entire week. So that's not bad. Here are those chicken nuggets. I'm going to stick these in the freezer too because I'm not planning on eating these until the end of the week. But they look really good, and these would be really good dipped in some aioli or barbecue sauce or sweet and sour. So for my work lunch, I packed up my chicken nuggets, put some barbecue sauce in a little container, and I added a baked sweet potato with some almond butter and cinnamon. It was a delicious lunch. So I'm starting the batter for my banana bread. This is simply a mashed banana with 2 beaten eggs and some vanilla extract. Now I have all of my dry ingredients in my Vitamix. This is sprouted oats, coconut flour, oat flour, flax meal, some cinnamon, some coconut sugar, and baking powder. After my flour was ground up, I added that to my wet ingredients. I also added some raisins, and you can add walnuts if you wanted to. And I poured the batter into my small bread pan and I baked it, and here's what it looks like when it came out. I just topped it with some oats. So for breakfast, I had a couple slices of that banana bread topped with peanut butter and sliced bananas with a side of berries and a cup of Earl Grey tea. This is my Monday night dinner, fish tacos. So there's some white fish. I mixed it with a little of that leftover rice that I had, and I made a slaw from some leftover cabbage and some shredded carrots mixed with some sour cream and mayo, all topped with guacamole. These are the veggies for my Tuesday morning breakfast omelet. A nice variety of colorful veggies, some onions, peppers, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and mushrooms. And in my frying pan, I have a lamb sausage. I picked those up at my supermarket. They were marked down because they're getting close to their sell-by date. I got a package of 6 for just under $5. There's my omelet and the sausage, and my beverage this morning is green tea. My final breakfast of the week is a breakfast bowl, which consists of some Icelandic skyr or skyr. I'm not sure how you say that, but it's a Icelandic yogurt which is very thick and creamy. And on top of that, I have some blackberries and raspberries. I also have some sprouted oatmeal topped with bananas and walnuts and a sprinkle of cinnamon over everything. I hope you've been inspired to get into your kitchen and cook up some healthy, real food. I also hope that you've come away with some ideas on how to meal prep to save money and time. If you like the video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear your meal prep hacks and how you prepare healthy meals on a budget. Until next time, think spring! It's right around the corner. See you on the next video.